Mike Barelak here to entertain you with the help of Sting.
Let your soul
be your pilot. Let your soul guide you where. Incidentally, I bought that CD single when it was 25, 30 years ago, whatever it was. Still lived at home. I still have it. It's got an additional track on there. Kind of a bit of a reggae tune. That the bed's too big without you. Bed too big that you've been gone. I said the bed's too big without you. Bed's too big without you. Anyways, just wanted to get a quick one out there. I finished reading. There's only 13 of them in existence, but I finished reading those Quantum Leap comics, and it prompted me to rewatch the series. I bought it on DVD about 15 years ago, but I kept putting off watching it because I guess I was holding out, looking forward to watching it with a significant other. Now that I've pretty much given up on that. This will be the first time my enjoying this Quantum Leap series in high definition and surround stereo sound, so that'll be new for me. Up to this point, I've only experienced the series on a 19-inch Magnavox. Old-fashioned tube TV, kids. But I discovered the show in syndication on USA when I was growing up, and I would record it and then watch it when I got home from work after school, then go right to work and then right home and then watch it and go to bed. Then fell in love with the series, and then I watched it a second time a few years later with my sister, still on that 19-inch Magnavox TV. But she wouldn't watch all the episodes with me. If she would have to be intrigued by the leap in. If she wasn't intrigued by the leap in, she'd be like, "Oh, you can watch this episode by yourself." I'd be like, "All right, but you're gonna." I was gonna say, "But you're gonna want to watch this episode." I always would say, "You're gonna have to watch this episode if you want to understand the series as a whole." But I'd say 80% of the episodes she watched with me. But anyways, that was over 20 years ago, and I never experienced the series in high definition and stereo surround sound. And I finished reading all 13 of the comic books that I found out existed about 7 years ago, and finally ordered them and bought them. And the only ones I had to shell out a bit of money for was the first one and the last one, number 1 and number 13. But there were only 13 produced by Innovation between roughly 1991 and 1993. But the stories that are pretty faithful to the series. Another reason why I want to revisit the series, because I want to read the novels, because I had about half of them and read about half of them over 20 years ago. And there are aspects to some of those stories. For example, the Loch Ness leap. He leaps into a college student who happens to be attending college with Samantha, who happens to be his daughter. The Trilogy episode, called Trilogy because it's 3 parts, and it ends with Ziggy claiming that the little girl born there's like a some percent chance that she is Sam's daughter, and she's working with them in Project Quantum Leap, and she's the only one that might be able to bring Sam back home. Anyways, she's in that story, the Loch Ness leap, and in order for me to really be able to jog my memory as I read those books, I got to revisit the series finally. So. But this will be the first time watching it in high definition. Yeah, I watched Genesis last night, the pilot episode, parts 1 and 2, and when he leaps it, I've caught certain things that I didn't catch the first two times in my life watching the show. Subtle things. I remember lines and everything like that. That's easy. But there was one little thing. When he leapt into the baseball player, in Genesis Part 2, there's a sequence there where there's like a lightning bolt or some thunder, and Al looks up at the what's going on here? I thought, that's God's way of telling Al, shut up, Al. Sam's acting in compliance with my plan for him. So anyways, I'm going to revisit the series for the first time in high definition and stereo surround sound. But, boy, so much for only taxing the rich, huh? Now they're going to tax the rich and whomever has to drive to work. Before you know it, they'll be trying to tax water and air. They'll figure out a way to tax water and air, and as long as it helps them in their goal, the Democratic leftists, the Democratic left is trying to figure out a way if they can tax our water and air. Whatever must be done to do that so that they do not have to be accountable for anything. All right, sorry, I said I wasn't going to be talking about politics anymore, but sometimes it's hard when you're surrounded by ignorance, Every day it's something new. All right. Mike Paralak, thank you for your time.